Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about sensitivity. As you remember, all living things carry out some life processes that include nutrition with digestion, respiration, excretion, circulation, which are processes that have the objective to feed our cells, the cells in our body. The second process is reproduction, and this means to have offspring. This means having babies or living things similar to the parents. On the left, top left, you can see a plant, and here you can see a bee that is taking pollen from one part to another part of the plant, so we finally get a fruit with seeds inside, which is the way most plants reproduce. On the right, you see an insect laying lots of eggs that will be future insects, similar to it, to the one that is laying the eggs. Then on the bottom right, we have a fungus, and you can see little dots, black dots, that are the spores. Like it would be something like seeds, but it's a different thing, right? And these will grow new fungi in the same place, probably. Then we have a baby who could be your brother. The third life process all living things carry out is sensitivity, and this means react to the environment. Sensitivity is centered in the nervous system, and we have the central nervous system with the big brain people have and the spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system that is all the nerves in our body. The central nervous system, again, you can see it on top with the brain and the spinal cord. This is gray color, and the peripheral nervous system with all peripheral nerves. Again, a picture where we can see very well. As you can see, the spinal cord is protected by all vertebrae. Your spinal column is protecting that. And remember that your brain is protected by your cranium. Your senses receive information, and this information travels through your sensory nerves to your brain or spinal cord, and then your brain decides what to do and sends an order to the motor nerves that react. The five senses, as you remember, are taste, sight, touch, hearing, and smell. They carry the information to your brain, and the brain receives the information in a specific area. Your brain has three differentiated parts. In blue, green, red, and pink, you have the cerebrum, which is the part that we all think of, because in here we have memory, emotions, touch, movement, smell, speech, hearing, etc. There is a second part, which is called cerebellum, and here in this picture is on the right, on the bottom right, and it is like brown with black lines, and this is in charge of balance and coordination. And the third one is a little yellow-like stem that you see next to the cerebellum, and this is called the brainstem. And this is in charge of all the automatic movements we have in our body, like our heartbeat, for example, digestive processes, these kind of things you cannot control. Here you have again the parts. If you want to stop and see them in detail, it's much better, because you will learn lots of things here. This is a neuron, which is the smallest part of your nervous system, and is in charge of transmitting the information from part to part. For example, from your senses to your brain. Your brain is made up of neurons. These neurons form nerves to take the information to all parts of the body, etc. Neurons have a body with a nucleus, a long structure that we call axon, and then projections that we call dendrites that transmit information. You see it here much better in the form of an electrical impulse. It's not touching one another, but sending the information with an impulse. Many neurons together form nerves. You see here the axons, which are all these long structures that neurons have, all together forming nerves. In this picture, we see in colors, we have the cerebrum with the area in which we have the 5 senses. So we understand very well that when we taste, the information goes to this yellow part in your cerebrum. When you are smelling, it is in that blue part, etc. And then the brain decides what to do and sends a message through the peripheral nervous system to, for example, your hand. And these nerves that form this nervous system are called motor nerves, because motor has to do with movement, motor movement, okay? So peripheral nervous system is made up of motor nerves in charge of doing the action, really action, okay? In here we can see an example of a voluntary action. Voluntary actions are those actions that you do or you could not do if you don't want. Imagine you see a glass of water with your eye, and then this information goes to your brain. Your brain decides that it's a good idea to have a little bit of water, and then sends a message through the motor nerves to your arm. So you take the glass of water and you drink it. This is a voluntary action. Here we see very well how the spinal cord is connected to the muscles in your arm. So this is the idea. The idea is that your brain sends the message that travels through the spinal cord and it goes to your muscles. Here we have examples of voluntary actions. But there are other kind of actions that are not voluntary. For example, reflexes, or also involuntary actions, which is something different, right? Involuntary actions have to do with automatic processes in your body, like respiration, your heartbeat, or digestion, or balance. And reflexes are always involuntary, but are quick responses to stimulus. For example, you don't think it and you close your eyes very quickly if something is like very near your eyes and you feel in danger, or when the doctor is kicking your knee and it reacts, you lift it, okay? This is a very clear example of a reflex. If you touch something that is really hot and you burn your fingers, you pull your arm away very quickly, otherwise you would burn your fingers, you know. So if you take your time to pull your arm away, then you are burned for sure. So your body is telling you that you have to do that quickly, and it's not your brain who orders this action of pulling the arm up, but your spinal cord. So it doesn't take much time, so your spinal cord reacts faster than your brain. So here is Kakito saying goodbye. Have a nice day. Goodbye.